I want to do a video. I was working up at the house today, and you know, I was working on the electrical wiring, which I had told you the other day if you watched my channel. So anyway, it comes to the point now where everything has been tested, everything has been checked out, except I have one more circuit to complete, and that is the smoke alarms. I'm putting the smoke alarms in the house last. And I don't know whether you know this or not, but I'm going to give you a little bit of information about smoke alarms. I mean, haven't been out at the sawmill, and I know this is off the beaten path, but if you look at my channel, you'll find out I've done all kinds of subjects. So anyway, what I want to say to you is there's two types of smoke alarms. One works by ionization, and the other works by photoelectric. Okay? So if you look up all these alphabet names of different places, National Electrical whatever people, which I'm not familiar with all of them. I was at one time, I'm not anymore and don't care to be. However, what I want to say is they recommend that you have both types. So, you know, as a builder, you're always trying to work, you're always worrying about the cost of things and, you know, what the prices are. And it amazes me how government or, you know, anybody changes the rules in flight. Now this may have taken place a long time ago, I don't know, I'm just saying. And because I'm working on smoke alarms today, that's what I'm talking about it today. So anyway, you have two types, and they recommend that you would use the two types. So that means instead of one box, one set of wire, you know, now you have two boxes in every bedroom, two boxes in every hallway, and two boxes in wherever, you know, is a good place to put a smoke detector. Which is fine, you know, I'm not against safety, that's for sure, especially when it comes to sleeping and safety. I mean, I don't want to see anybody get hurt, and I wouldn't want to get hurt myself or burned alive, for instance. But anyway, what I'm getting at here is when you hook up smoke alarms, like the smoke alarms I bought have 3 wires to them, okay? And what it is you can hook a smoke alarm up. They're battery backup, but they're also AC powered. So in other words, they're running from the power that goes to the house. They also have, you know, the battery backup. Okay, so here's the thing. When you hook them up AC, you have to hook up the smoke alarms so that when they go off, all of them in the whole house go off at one time. So you have to interconnect them, all of them. And when you do that, the only way that you can interconnect them all is to use wire that has 3 wires and a ground to it. So it's 3-wire cable plus a ground, which is 4 wires running through cable. So on a circuit for smoke alarms, it's not a great demand. So I think I have, let's see, I got 8 or 7 smoke alarms up there. So a 15-amp circuit can handle that. You know, that would be 14-2 wire. So what you do is you have to run from the main, or from, actually it's not from the main, you have to run from one box to the other, 3-way wire. So you'll run a line with 2 wires to the first box, and then from there on you'll go with 3 wires to interconnect all these smoke alarms. But what I'm getting at here, and you can check that, I'm not here to give you electrical instruction, I said that before. You know, when it comes to electricity, do your reading. If you don't know anything about it, get an electrician to do your work for you. But anyhow, what I was saying about the price and stuff is, what amazes me is they also say that besides the 2 different type, ionization and photoelectric, why do they make just ionization, and why would they make just photoelectric when the 2 of them come? You know, if you buy an ionization one, you're looking at roughly 10 bucks for one. If you buy the photoelectric type, it looks to me like they're around $15. Okay, so if you buy a combination one, it's $30 a piece for a combination one. So the thing is the combination type that works photoelectric and ionization still need to be interconnected, you know, in your ceiling or however you're going to hook them up or wherever you put them. And you also, besides being interconnected, you want to have them so that they have a battery backup as well as, you know, the AC hookup. So it's just, as a, you know, as a builder, you look at this and let's say smoke alarms that seem to be perfectly fine that the fire company was giving away, 10 years ago, was this ionization type. So, I mean, that's what they were giving to people to put into their homes who didn't have smoke alarms, which I think you should have smoke alarms in the house. I'm not against a smoke alarm. What I'm talking about here is just what happens to builders when it comes to the prices of things. Originally you could get away with a smoke alarm, one smoke alarm, like in a central area in the house. Well, they determined, and usually it was in a hallway. Well, usually then they determined, well, what if you sleep with the bedroom door closed, which, most people do, so yeah, you should have one in the bedroom plus one in the hallway. And then again, you have to look at the house, how's the house laid out, because depending upon how the house was laid out, there's actually current of air, not electricity now, but air moves through the house in a certain way. So, like the house that I have up there has a great big opening in it from the first floor to the second floor. So there's one smoke alarm that would be in a hallway right in the center of that upper room. Now it's off from where the wood stove or the coal stove would be, but it's still in the center of that ceiling, and it's close enough to the bedrooms. There's 3 bedrooms upstairs that would hit or wake someone, hopefully, if the alarm had to go off. But anyway, hooking them up interconnected means that all of them are going to go off anyway. But the point is that what I'm like I say, what I'm getting at is the price of stuff. You start off with it's $8, okay, plus a box is like, say, $3 or $4, or let's just make it $5 to make it easy. Let's say $10 for an alarm, $5 for a box is $15. And then, copper wire today is very expensive compared to what it used to be, so then you have to add the wire in, and you're running that to 8 or 9 or however many smoke alarms you have in your home. The more smoke alarms does not necessarily mean a better coverage of things, because it all depends, like, where you put the alarm and whether it's getting, a lot of influence from the stove, the coal stove or the wood stove, or a lot of influence from, the kitchen, which can cause it to go off. So you want to watch where you put things. So anyway, you're looking at 15, let's say $20, and then add another, I don't know, 30 bucks to that to get it installed. So you're looking at $50 per alarm. Where at one time, I can remember back in the 90s, to put a smoke alarm in was a $15 item, and we were making double money on that. So in other words, it cost you $7 instead of the $15 that it cost. So it's and I look at this and I say to myself, why do we have these ionization type? Why not just go all to one type, get rid of the other ones? Why even sell them if they're not the best thing you could possibly have? I have to laugh. There's one of the brand names. I'm not going to mention the brand because we just don't want to, but there's a brand name, and on the right-hand side of their column, they have best, good, and no comment. So why would you make a smoke alarm that has no comment, whether it's good or not, and then have one that's good and then one that's best? It's a little bit confusing to me. I just think that, as a consumer of stuff, that they should make one thing that covers the intended purpose, and then make people buy that. I mean, why pass half of a law? In other words, they say you have to have smoke alarms and you have to have, them interconnected, but you don't have to have photoelectric and you don't have to have ionization. You can have either one, but yet they all recommend that you have both. So why don't we just pass these regulations that say you have to have the kind of alarm that uses both? It's a little bit confusing to me, but anyway, that's what I was working on today. I still haven't gotten to get any firewood because we've been getting rain and snow. I have not been able to get any lumber, not just firewood, but I haven't gotten any logs for the sawmill yet either, which I hope to do this next week coming up. So I haven't been making any sawmill videos, but yeah, it's just, I don't know, I guess it's a little pet peeve of mine too. You're trying to follow the rules, and the rules, instead of them being straightforward, they're sort of like slanted. Instead of saying you must do this, but you could do that if you want to, why not just say this is what you should have and be done with it? So, I know that there's probably a lot of builders out there saying, please no, don't do that because I just bought a truckload of ionization type. But I'm just saying, you know, so then whose fault is it if there's a fire and somebody gets hurt? Is it the person who built the ionization and didn't get the photoelectric? Or is it the builder who tried to build a house for something that somebody could afford, only to find out that, you know, when you add $50 per outlet to the thing, plus all the wiring and all the, you know, everything else that goes with that, the people can't afford the house. So something else gets cheated on, or something else gets, you know, dumbed down so that you can get something finished. I guess that's my rant on smoke alarms. But anyway, that's what I was working on today. The other thing I want to say is this. I got a comment. I think in the past year, ever since I got the sawmill, my channel has been growing pretty much, and I'm happy with it. I love talking to the people, and in the morning I get a lot of comments from the same people. I very much enjoy that, and I answer every single comment that I can, you know, unless it's a statement rather than a question, or sometimes I even answer the statements, and it's a lot of fun that I have with you guys. However, I get an occasional, you talk too much, or, you know, just show the sawing, don't do the talking. Look, there's a couple channels on there, on the internet, on YouTube, that are all about sawing with no talking. If you don't like one that has someone talking, go to one of the channels where no one talks and see if you can figure out what he's doing. I talk because I was a teacher at one point in my life. And since I was that, I recognize that it's not that people are idiots. The guy who read the comments said, we're not idiots, you don't have to talk so much. It's not a matter of me thinking you're an idiot. I don't think anybody's an idiot. Well, yes I do. There are some idiots, but forget that. The point is that it's not that I think you're an idiot. What I think is that people are confused, just like the thing with the smoke alarm. You know, you go to Lowe's, you look at the smoke alarm, okay, it starts up here on the left-hand corner, $8 a smoke alarm. By the time you get down to the bottom, it's $65 for a smoke alarm. Which one should I get? Okay, you know, we're talking about our children here, or our grandchildren, or whoever may be in the house. You want to get the best one you can get, but you keep looking at this $8, this is a smoke alarm, and it protects you. So, the same thing with me talking when it comes to my videos. I try to explain everything that I'm doing, and I think a lot of people appreciate that. In fact, of the 2 comments that I've gotten that says don't talk so much, I've gotten about 5,000 comments that say, please, thank you for telling us, you know, what you have to say. So, this is the way I am, this is the way my channel is. And by the way, if I get comments that say something that I think you should be able to handle yourself, and you don't handle it, I'll just delete you off the channel, because it doesn't make any sense for you to be aggravated. I'm actually helping you. So when you write and say to me, stop moving the camera, or, you know, now if you're criticizing something because it needs to be fixed, I got that. Like, I know when I talk on the camera and I'm away from the camera, I don't have a camera yet with a mic, a remote mic, which I'm looking into, but I'm not ready to get it yet until I'm sure that it's going to work for me. But anyway, what I was going to say is, when somebody says, you know, I can't hear you the way because of the machine running or something, I got that, and I understand that, and I try to make amends to it. But when somebody says, you know, don't talk, just run the sawmill, I delete that person, because their comment is, to me, ridiculous, so I don't even worry about it. I don't even think about it. The other thing, besides that I wanted to say was, I was reading an article on YouTube the other day, and I got, every month they send you some kind of a thing saying, you know, how they think you're doing. Normally I delete it, but I opened this one up just to see what was going on, because there was something about some kind of an Article 13 in Britain, or in Europe, I should say, maybe not Britain, Europe, where it says that, you know, there's copyright things and all kinds of stuff like that that they're not going to allow you to have. So I'm just wondering, does that mean that I have to put a big, like, piece of tape over my Wood-Mizer sign? You know, I mean, you're not allowed to say any words that have to do with a company. How do you critique something? Like, if I have, I don't know, if I bought a pair of binoculars, I want to share with you how great these are. I'm not allowed to tell you the name. This stuff makes no sense to me. And I see there's a lot of people who made videos against it because they don't want to lose their money. The way that the email I got came said, you know, it's potentially even you in America it's possible that when they make this software that's going to look for these trademark things, that it's possible that everybody's going to get taken off the internet because somebody's always using another label from some other company. I really don't care about that, okay? I don't care what they do, it doesn't matter to me, but I'm just saying, if this is something that's going to stop us from being able to connect with one another, which I appreciate doing, and I think a lot of people out there want me to do that, then I don't even know where to begin with fixing this. I mean, isn't this Europe's problem in my mind? Maybe it is our problem. But why do we got to keep bringing stuff from Europe to here? I thought we left Europe back in the 1500s, or 1492 I guess it was, to get away from that nonsense. But we keep bringing it here with us. How about we stop that and just be Americans and be the free people we're supposed to be? So anyway, that's all I got to say for today, guys. Have a good one. Hope you had a good day. It's supposed to snow and rain tonight. It's supposed to turn into snow, then melt, and then it's supposed to snow on Thursday. But Friday's supposed to be sunny, so who knows? Have a